Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Associated Guests. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, I want to get a little bright spot in here at the beginning. So Henry Cavill is absolutely based. He continues to be based. He's awesome. He's a nerd. He just happens to be a hunk, and women love him. But he's a nerd's man. A man's nerd. However you want to say it. Him and the guy that played Flash Thompson in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. I can't remember his name because it's large and Italian, just as he is. But they're great. They're fantastic. They prove that you can play D&D and other nerdy things and be, sought after by lady types. And then we get into Candace Owens. I don't play a lot of Ben Shapiro on here, just because how much he dyes his hair and eyebrows bothers me to a point that I compare his eyebrows to stenciled eyebrows like that of large Puerto Rican women, and also one of my aunts who I can't mention or she will sue me. But let's get into it.
What's this? Oh, I saw this. Henry Cavill says he's not a fan of sex scenes in film and television and believes that they're mostly a bit of a cop-out. Fucking true. Absolutely
Based.
true.
Based.
When you have a
I didn't know what this was about, but sure, based. We'll go with it.
sense that you're going, is this really necessary, or is it people just with less clothing on?
Right.
And that's where you start to get more uncomfortable, and you're thinking, there's not a performance here. TV show or a movie
I mean, kind of there is.
is just filled with sort of gyrating bodies, and you're going, okay,
Right.
but
I mean, and there really was no reason for the scene where he gets in the bathtub with Lois on, what was it, Superman? Man of Steel? But no, I agree. The only time that it was absolutely hilarious was, what was it, a show called, there was a show that came on immediately following a Charlie Brown Christmas, I think it was. And it opened on a sex scene. And you know how TV shows, while the credits for the show ending is playing, they'll play the first scene of the next show, mostly to piss off people using things like TiVo and recording their shows. Yeah, it literally started the second that Charlie Brown Christmas ended. But yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, anyway, continuing.
what is this doing for us, apart from the idea of naked person, great.
Yeah. Henry, tell us what your comfort films are and why you chose them.
Okay, comfort films, Lord of the Rings extended.
Fucking damn, man.
See? You see what I'm saying? That's one of mine too. I'll go through and watch it. Every couple of years, I'll just be like, man, I really want to just burn through 12 hours of film.
How is he so perfect? Oh my god, the extended edition? Oh.
I want to go through and see the extended edition of that interview. I truly do. But now we're going to get into... Oh, hold on a second. Fun fact, I did that thing I do where I talk and I piss someone off to the extent where they punch me in the face and cracked one of my teeth. So I have an extraction next week because it's unfixable. And I know, right? Who would have thought? I'm actually worse in real life. But yeah, that'll be next Friday. I scheduled it so I'll have 3 days to heal. So I can come back to doing the show that next Monday with minimal pain. It might be one of those days where I'm not talking as much, but there will be a show on Friday and Monday that week. But yeah, anyway, we'll get into this with Ben Shapiro talking about Candace Owens and all of her conspiratorial nonsense involving Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk specifically.
Reach out and tap Charlie.
Sorry.
The preliminary hearings in the Charlie Kirk assassination case are now underway. All evidence clearly points to trans-loving gay man Tyler Robinson, the DNA, the texts, confession, the rifle. But that's not actually the big story today. The big story is that for the last 10 months or so, Candace Owens and her fellow travelers have been claiming not only that Tyler Robinson is innocent, but that the people closest to Charlie, including his friends, his colleagues at Turning Point, and, of course, his widow,
I mean, makes
are
sense,
either
right?
responsible for his murder or the cover-up of that murder. This is evil. It's disgusting, clearly.
Yes.
Today, we're going to go through and debunk Candace's twisted bullshit and examine the effects of that evil. And we'll talk about
Can we just say, like, hearing Ben Shapiro cuss, sometimes it's cringe when he does it too much, but when he only does it every now and then, it's just as funny as watching, like, someone's grandpa cuss. Like, there are three things that I love: hearing old people cuss, hearing other people's small kids cuss, and hearing people with accents cuss. And by God, if you get two of those mixed in a single instance, it's glorious. But Ben Shapiro cussing is a secret fourth of mine.
about what it means for the broader public that such conspiratorial garbage has found significant purchase on the right.
Oh my God, get up, it's 5 a.m.
So, I've been pointing this out consistently for, at this point, almost a year. What we've been watching since Charlie Kirk's murder on September 10th, 2025, is one of the sickest and most perverse and most evil political character assassinations of all time. It's actually unprecedented. A prominent political figure is murdered, and an attention-seeking sociopath named Candace Owens makes it her singular mission to implicate the widow and the people closest to the victim in the murder, and in the process activates thousands, perhaps millions of people to target the widow. Now, obviously, this is wicked. Not just because Candace Owens and her sick followers are providing the basis for a Tyler Robinson reasonable doubt claim. That probably won't work because there is no reasonable doubt here. It's actually disgusting because Candace's goal here is simple. Generate hate, maybe even violence against Erica Kirk, TV USA, and all her political opponents. It's not about the facts for Candace. It's never been about the facts or the truth. It's about generating fake smoke.
Well, because she doesn't know what facts or truth actually is.
So that people will think there is a fire. And so that people then train their fire on people Candace Owens despises. There's an enormous amount to this story. I want to get to all of it. Now, again, the reason this is all coming up is because this week is the preliminary hearing in the prosecution of Tyler Robinson, the actual assassin of Charlie Kirk. So, in Utah, the way that it works is that people charged with felonies are entitled to a preliminary hearing before the trial. The goal in these hearings is to show a neutral judge and arbiter that there's probable cause and evidence sufficient for conviction before you start in on the trial, because if there's not, then the whole thing should be dismissed. So what we're watching right now unfold is not a beyond a reasonable doubt trial with the jury and everything else. It's a sort of rough preview. The judge is just supposed to determine if there's enough here to make a case, which of course there is. So on the first day of the hearing, which happened yesterday, there were only a couple of witnesses because the defense kept objecting on the basis of hearsay, and the judge kept overruling those objections. Erica Kirk was present, so was the rest of Charlie's family. So were top TV USA members. Donald Trump Jr. was there as well. The two witnesses who were called were Officer Christopher Bagley of the Utah Valley University PD. He testified that he heard the shot that killed Charlie and knew it was a rifle, and described the situation, which sounded like a shooter prone on the roof, which is, of course, what it was. FBI agent David Hull then presented law enforcement video evidence as well as the autopsy report. The autopsy report showed that Charlie was killed by a bullet to the neck. Of course, not some sort of magical exploding microphone, as Candace Owens and others.
That was on the other side of his shirt, by the way. And like I enjoy conspiracy theories. I really do. They're fun. They're the way that I view them the same way that actual, and I know religious people won't accept this definition, but the way that people like Bill Maher or actual intellectual atheist, not just pissed off former Christian atheist, view religion. I think that and I only say it this way because I've talked to them, and it's always fun when I talk because I know enough about religion to where I can have an argument for or against it. With your more basic individuals who have done a little bit of research, I haven't done this in a very long time, but I used to like to test my cousin who's a pastor's, not test his faith. I never did anything that extreme, but I used to like to just push him just to show how deep his actual faith actually is. Because it was. He's a good man, and a man of faith. But no. So I view some of these conspiracy theories the same way that, again, quote unquote intellectual atheists view religion. They find it fascinating. There's a rich lore and history. Or even, you know what? That's probably a bad one. We'll say more the way Lord Nuxanor looks at the lore of any established world that he deep dives in on his Nuxtaku channel. You know, he will consume all the lore. I find it fascinating, especially if there is a lot of lore behind it, like Flat Earth. Some of the conspiracies on it are fascinating, and Hollow Earth gets even more surreal because it starts to include the actual origins of aliens, that they actually live inside Earth, not outside of it, or there's a portal to the future or wherever they're from in the various triangles, like Bermuda Triangle. I think there's a Malaysian Triangle, so on and so forth. But anyway, I digress.
Have suggested. Here is the judge who was shown the footage of Charlie getting shot. You can see the judge, whose name is Graff, flinching at the footage. So you can see him flinch when this happens. It's obviously incredibly disturbing footage. We never showed it on the show for a reason.
And you shouldn't. I honestly, I wish I hadn't seen it. But at the same time, I'm glad I did for the same reason that other former leftist is glad Charlie Kirk's dead. Because it changed me in a way that I can never go back to. in a way that I will only shut up in the meantime to make sure that I have employment, to basically make sure that I can go on living as a regular person and not starve to death while I try to get whatever I'm doing here up and going, and a couple other things that I'm working on up and going. But yeah, it's, if you haven't seen it, and you aren't an acolyte of people like Candace Owens, don't watch it. Please don't watch it. However, if you are someone who thinks Candace Owens is telling the truth, that she's based, if you think that she's any kind of intellectual, then watch it. It completely disproves everything that she's saying, at least as far as the magic explodey microphone that's on Charlie's shirt, and it also is it will radicalize you in a way that nothing else ever is. There's only 3 images I'll never get out of my head. Okay, 4 images. There's the first beheading video that came out way back when the Iraq and Afghan war started. There's Charlie Kirk, Irina Zarutska, and Phil Collins' Land of Confusion with the super scary puppets. Those are... Phil Collins is scary, man. Anyway, continuing.
Because watching a man, particularly somebody who you're friendly with, get murdered on camera is about as horrifying as it gets. Well, this whole week, we'll be seeing the unveiling of available evidence And we'll continue to bring you the updates. You know, we're going to bring you actual facts, like things that happen, not personality-driven drama or psychotic conspiracism. We're going to spend some time debunking conspiracies because a lot of people are being sucked into this trash. But truth actually matters, and we care about the truth, so we'll continue to tell it. So let's begin at the beginning. The prosecution is as clear as day. It is obvious that Tyler Robinson did this, and it's also obvious why. So let's go back through the timeline briefly as a review. So back in April 2025, Charlie tweeted out that assassination culture was spreading on the left, which of course is true. In August 2025, there was a change.org petition that started circulating to prevent Charlie Kirk from speaking at Utah Valley University. Now, again, these sorts of change.org petitions have come up regularly whenever people like Charlie or I or anyone else speaks on a college campus and happens to be conservative. Less than a week after Charlie died, by the way, there was another petition put up on change.org that had 16,000 plus signatures suggesting that they shouldn't allow a memorial for Charlie at UVU. Okay, September 3rd, 2025, UVU issued a statement reaffirming their commitment to free speech, and the event went forward. Okay, so now, the day of the event, September 10th, 2025. Here is the brief timeline. So 8:29 a.m., Tyler Robinson arrived at UVU in a gray Dodge Challenger. This was captured on surveillance. And as we are going to see throughout this week, basically all of Robinson's movements from the time he arrived until after the assassination were captured on tape. So all the conspiracy theorizing is just nonsense, and it always was. 11:52 a.m., Robinson moved through stairwells
Charge
to the
complete.
rooftop, about 150 yards from the event courtyard. He was wearing dark clothing. Charging documents noted that Robinson was walking with an unusual gait, meaning that he was not bending his right leg, and that's because there was a rifle allegedly hidden in his pants. And here you can see footage of Robinson limping toward the UVU campus. This is before the shooting. You see him walking down the street toward the UVU.
And excuse me. I've seen a lot about the funny thing is people are asking, why is he walking so funny? Probably because he's got a rifle crammed down his pant leg, fucker. Like, have you not seen any information about any shooting ever? Anybody who shoots people with rifles, they usually have it crammed down their pant leg because they're freaking retards.
Campus. And again, you can see that he is not fully.
And also look at his face. Even if it's not a rifle crammed down his pant leg, look at his face. He is half a tard at best, anyway.
Bending his right leg because there's something down his right leg, namely a gun.
Yes.
And that is why he is walking strangely. Okay, at noon, Charlie began the event in the courtyard. This is the famous tape of Charlie throwing out the hats, big crowd, several thousand people showing up, cheering. At 12:23, Charlie gets shot in the neck, and he was carried to an SUV and driven to the Timpanogos Regional Hospital. And Robinson was then seen fleeing off the roof into the woods. And there's tape that shows him climbing down from the roof. 12:39 p.m., FBI agents arrived at UVU, and videos began to appear on social media of Charlie being assassinated. And I remember where I was.
Nah, Yunukin, I hated to ask, man. I was trying to make it myself with ChatGPT and Grok. Yunuka in the chat. Good morning, by the way. I was trying to get a literal GIF of Candace Owens, like a 2-second GIF of her grasping at literal straws, like looking like very cat-like and into it, like oh, and I was gonna just start posting that on all of her, on all of her ridiculous posts during the trial. But all I can get is, I guess. Let me see if I can pop it up real quick. Candace Owens, But yeah, like literally all I can get so far is this, and it posts the words of her grasping literal straw. And then I said, no, give me like a 3-second GIF and do this. What are you doing in Mawadas? And it did this, which I thought this was funny. Like, a clue to Charlie's murder. And then, so I was like, okay, I'm going to switch to Why are you like this? Google. Jesus. Oh, fuck it. We'll go over here. History. Oh, it stores separately what I ask Grok directly and what I ask Grok via X? That's fucking stupid. Anyway, Grok didn't produce much better, and I tried rewording it a couple of times. It didn't work. So I wanted that, and then there was one for Tucker Carlson that I wanted. I don't think ChatGPT can create videos. Can it not? That's God. I might have to get what does Dong P Bongwater use? Does he use what's it, Sora or some other AI that I'm unaware of? Because like I said, I want a couple, and there was one of Tucker Carlson I thought of, but dang it, I think I forgot what it was, and I'm not seeing it here. But anyway.
Was at the time when all of this was
Good
happening.
morning, shapeshifter.
And here you can see the video. And this is the footage of Robinson climbing down off the roof. And this is what's happening right afterward. You see the figure wearing the same clothing, running to the corner of the roof, and then essentially lowering himself down and dropping off the corner of the roof. So, again, this is pretty unambiguous stuff. Okay, so I remember where I was when all this was happening. I was in Los Angeles. I had sort of a breakfast/lunch meeting with somebody. And I got the news that Charlie had been shot, and my security was on the phone with Charlie's security because nobody knew what the hell was going on. Well, Charlie was still in the back of the car, and we were sort of getting updates along the way. At 2:40 p.m., President Trump announced that Charlie had died on Truth Social. By that point, anybody who had seen the tape was pretty certain that Charlie had died. I mean, the tape is pretty clear. If you haven't seen it, count yourself lucky.
Seed Dance? I haven't heard of that one, but I'll look into it.
Tape. Okay, from 4 o'clock to 5:59, official statements alternately claim that a person was in custody and then released. Remember that FBI Director Kash Patel suggested this, and then the...
Yeah, because there was another radical very close in the crowd, and then there was people shot, like, the video of the guy laughing. It didn't come out if he was actually laughing at that or if he was just so shocked, because when I'm startled or terrified, like, I'll laugh because I'm a crazy person.
Or a mayor suggested this, local police suggested this, and then it turned out that nobody had been captured, and the suspect, Tyler Robinson, was still at large. Now, according to charging documents, law enforcement found Robinson's shooting location, but no shell casings there, and a bolt-action rifle with 1 spent round and 3 more still loaded, wrapped in the towel in the woods that Robinson ran toward. The way that it works, by the way, is the bolt-action weapons do not eject casings automatically, because you have to actually pull the bolt back and all of that. Okay, September 11th, the next day. A morning press conference unveiled the Mauser rifle that was used.
Which one, though? What are you doing in my swamp? Oh, wait, is that, I don't know why I went straight to Old Greg. Is that Shrek, right?
Used to assassinate Charlie. It also showed that there were impressions and surveillance footage showing Robinson's path, and Robinson was described as college-age. FBI released stills and that rooftop video and posted a $100,000 reward for information. At 9 p.m., Robinson's parents recognized him in the released images, and this was an image of Tyler Robinson. And they persuaded Robinson to surrender, and Robinson turned himself in at the Washington County.
And just note that every time you see this posted on X, especially, it's an AI. Like, people will put it through an AI filter and clear it, but it also changes his face. And in the same way that I keep trying to get AI to put Elon Musk in the Dark Archer's costume from the show Arrow, but it just keeps showing the face of the guy who actually played the Dark Archer instead of Elon Musk. Like, it's completely ridiculous. It's very hard to get AI unless you know how to absolutely word it in a way that can't be. It's like a monkey's paw. You have to make sure that the tone, and you have to calibrate what you're saying basically to make sure that there's no workaround to where it'll alter his face as it clears it up. Oh. No worries, Shapeshifter.
Sheriff's Office. So, again, that is all the evidence as of September 11th, 2025. The next morning, President Trump went on Fox and Friends and said that Charlie Kirk's killer was in custody and that he wanted the state authorities to seek the death penalty. And the authorities did, in fact, identify and charge Tyler James Robinson with multiple counts, including aggravated murder, which could carry the death penalty, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, obstruction of justice, tampering with a witness, violent offense committed in the presence of a child. And the charging documents detailed a ton of evidence, including DNA that was found on the rifle's trigger, the fired cartridge casing, the other unfired cartridges, and the towel. Obviously, Charlie was...
Don't even get me started on the towel. The fact that both his DNA and Twiggs's DNA are on the towel. Some people will say that's conspiracy, and the FBI planted their DNA on this towel. Whereas anyone who's known a lonely 19-year-old boy, it was probably a cloth that they've both used to clean up, we'll say, after their gross session of tummy sores. But Hassan got caught saying someone should... Charlie Kirk. Oh! 2 days before his... No, yeah, he did. I didn't see the one where he said someone should. I saw the one where he said that I think they had... I saw the one... I think after, because they've debated once before, I think, at one of like Politicon or some shit. And, and that's the one where he's like, I want to unalive that MFer. And then he's like, oh, in a video game. Because I think he was talking to Destiny, and the one I'm thinking of at least. But no, if it's not that one, then I don't know if I've seen it yet. And I'm surprised it hasn't come to light before, considering.
He was in the middle of answering, it's on tape. He was answering questions about transgenderism and transgender radical ideology.
Old techie posted
Every
it.
round that was in the bolt-action rifle contained an etched description. One fired round said, notices bulge OWO, what's this? It's all very meme language for people who are too online. The second round said, hey, fascist, catch, with arrow symbols. The third round said, oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, which was a reference to a revolutionary song. And the fourth round...
Which is something that after Charlie's death, after his... And note, Hassan did react in a shocked manner until he was checked by the audience that has captured him. Whether it was because he felt a genuine loss for Charlie, or because he thought this opened him up to the possibility of a similar assassination, it's hard to say. But then his audience was like, hey, what's that, you having feelings for someone who doesn't agree with you 100%? You're a fascist. And then he went straight into everything else, and then he started just kind of humming Bella Ciao to himself just a few days later.
If you read this, you are gay, LMAO. And then a search of Robinson's residence found more shell casings with etchings and targets with bullet holes in them. Robinson's own mother told the cops that Robinson had, quote, started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights-oriented, and also had begun to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning. Robinson's parents called their son and convinced him to meet them at their home, and in their discussion, according to the parents, Tyler, quote, implied that he was the shooter and stated he couldn't go to jail and wanted to end it. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained there was too much evil and that Charlie Kirk spread too much hate. And then the police ended up...
Charlie Kirk never spread hate a day in his life. As a matter of fact, when people came to his little speeches or question things or whatever, multiple times people asked him why he thought it was okay to include gay people in the conservative movement, to which he kindly asked them to fuck off, but much more politely without using those actual words, because Charlie was a Mitch. Is it a Midge? Mitch? What's the Jewish word? I don't know how to say it, but he's that. He's great.
Questioning Robinson's roommate, that was Lance Twiggs, who received texts
Minch.
from
Was it
Robinson on
Minch?
the day of the assassination. And the texts are weird and stilted and creepy, obviously. Robinson had instructed Twiggs to look under his computer keyboard, and Twiggs found a note that said, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." And police do have a photograph of that note. And Twiggs then texted, "What? You're joking, right?" And Robinson wrote back, "I am still okay, my love, but I am stuck in Orem for
No,
a
my
little while
love.
longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep the secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you." And Twiggs wrote back, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" And Robinson said, "I am. I'm sorry." And Twiggs said, "I thought they caught the person." And Robinson wrote back, "No,
Not yet.
they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down." And Twiggs wrote, "Why?" And Robinson said, "Why did I do it?" And Twiggs said, "Yeah." And Robinson said, "I've had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out." Twiggs
Because it's the ultimate virtue signal.
said, "How long have you been planning this?" And Robinson said, "A bit over a week, I believe." Robinson sent Twiggs a lot of messages stressing about the rifle left in the woods. His dad was asking about the gun after seeing it on the news. And then Robinson told Twiggs to delete their conversation. He said, "Delete this exchange. You are all I worry about, love." And Twiggs said, "I'm much more worried about you." And Robinson said, "Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent." Okay, so that's the way that the entire saga played out.
Yeah, I used to use a lot, and that's one I commonly hear. Again, I had thought of converting to Judaism after years of being beat up because people thought I was Jewish. And I started taking some necessary steps, but yeah, it's a lot of work and study. And in hindsight, I wish I had gone through with it, but yeah. Doing something just because you got beat up because people already thought you were that thing, it's not a good reason. So I figured if I ever had a good reason to do it again and I felt that compelled, then I probably would go through with it then.
During the day of Charlie's murder and a couple of days thereafter. Okay, literally, within 2 days of Charlie's murder and the day of the announcement that Tyler Robinson had been arrested, Candace Owen started with the conspiracy theories. In a second, we'll get into all the insane conspiracy theories that Candace Owens has been retailing. I will tell you what is not an insane conspiracy theory, that your cell phone company come out to tell us that the feds are lying about Charlie Kirk's death. Okay, like right away. So this was not some sort of search for truth by Candace Owen. This was an immediate leak.
No, it's never, it's all, hey, guys, what about me? It's the don't forget how sad I am over here. Remember all those videos with me sitting next to Charlie? Remember how I looked at him lovingly and he kind of looked at me like I'm seeing someone.
To conspiracism, because of course that is what Candace's stock in trade is. And as we will talk about in a little while, we at Daily Wire, I can say this, when we hired Candace Owens in late 2020, early 2021, we had no indicator of the direction that she was going to turn at the time. It is one of my great regrets. I know that it is one of the great regrets for Jeremy Boring and Caleb Robinson, who were the co-CEOs of the company at the time. And it became increasingly clear that Candace had little connection with the truth.
Or reality.
I, for one, wanted to fire Candace significantly earlier than she actually was fired. It was not my decision. Eventually, Jeremy and Caleb made the proper and correct decision to fire Candace Owens. And I will point out that at the time, entire swaths of the right suggested that we had done something wrong. And then Candace has continued to demonstrate precisely what she is every single day since. Conspiratorial idiocy, hate-mongering, evil, vile.
Look, I'm not going to lie. Daily Wire's been involved in some things over the years. I understood both sides pretty well between them and Crowder during that whole kerfuffle. The Candace Owens thing, I've never been a fan of Candace Owens. At the time, it did seem like he just did it because she said a couple things about Israel. And Daily Wire's always been like, we don't care what you believe. You come here to work as long as you respect us, we respect you, so on and so forth. A lot of people said that it went against that principle. But me, I know Candace Owens is the worst. I've always thought so. I was like, I bet she was doing something just nutty behind the scenes and making people very uncomfortable. Jews don't want to other people convert. No. Like I said, I wanted to do it myself because I had been beat up by people because they thought I was Jewish when I was young. It was always a thing. I don't know why people are just like, even going through southern Arkansas on my way to Mardi Gras one year, stopped at a gas station, and I guess my hair was a bit too curly. I don't know, but that's back when I had hair. I don't anymore. But no. I know Jews don't want other people to convert. Like that's not their goal or mission or anything. But I have thought about it a couple times in my life. And again, it's just because I've been ostracized a few times and put upon and so on and so forth, just for people thinking I am. So the fact that there are people out there who go through that and are all the time, it's just, I don't know. Like I said, I was young and silly and a staunch liberal, so, which is probably one of the reasons why someone as secular as I wanted to be Jewish.
Trash. Okay, so that started with Charlie, literally 2 days after he was dead. September 14th, 2025, Erica vowed to continue Charlie's mission. This is what Erica had to say. Again, this is just shortly thereafter, the very famous video.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. In this world, you have no idea.
What's the... I gotta look that up. What's the Noite? Nick Mateo? I gotta look that up. Hold on.
You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die.
Well, I'd never met Erica Kirk in person. I met her September 15th because Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh and we all went to host Charlie's show in Arizona on September 15th. We met with Erica, a lot of hugs, a lot of tears. It was obviously a devastating moment for her, for the entire TPUSA family, everybody who was there, clearly. Well, on that same day, September 15th, Candace posted an episode titled "They Are Lying About Charlie Kirk." She immediately claimed that threats were made to Charlie and that the Prime Minister of Israel, because of course Candace is a conspiratorial anti-Semite, she suggested that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had called Charlie before he died and offered him tons of money by Israel, but turned it down. And as you'll see, this is all part of her broader conspiracy theory that actually Tyler Robinson did not kill Charlie Kirk. It was the Israelis or the French or Egyptian planes or many other things. So, by this point, again, this is 6 days after Charlie had been murdered. He had not been buried yet. And the memorial service for Charlie had not taken place yet. She had unspooled a wide variety of conspiracies suggesting that we weren't being told the whole truth and that the TPUSA family was guilty of some sort of cover-up. So September 16th, Candace says that no one can tell her to shut up except for Erica.
No one, and I mean absolutely no one, outside of my husband and Erica Kirk has the power to shut me up right now. That's it.
Remember that.
Yeah, well, as
I
you'll
do.
see, later, Erica did ask her to stop, and she said no. And now, Candace continued to get more and more...
No one except for my husband and Erica Kirk can get me to shut up. Erica Kirk says, "Hey, will you shut up?" No, fuck you, you're dumb.
Bizarre in her conspiracism.
Who do you think you were?
With everything I've plotted onto a timeline, and with my source on the inside, it seems the feds are lying about the outfit switch, which never made sense.
Her source on the inside is she believes that she astral projected, I'm sure. because a lot of these things come to her in a dream. Charlie spoke to me in a dream.
To begin with,
My God.
the laughably fake messages. There are at least 2 people involved, in my view. And this is just one example. Candace has zoned out about essentially every single piece of evidence. And none of this would matter.
She believes it in her gut.
At this time, was drawing some 4 or 5 million people listening to her show.
You might be in Israel news tomorrow. What for? If you don't mind me asking, sir.
Or watching her show every day. So huge audience. Huge audience. Not in spite of the conspiracism, because of it. Because there is a switch in the human brain that is drawn to conspiratorial finding of words in your alphabet soup. Okay, so fast forward to September 21st.
Hey, Brian. My alphabets are sending me a message. It says, "Oh, Peter, those are Cheerios."
2025. Y'all remember this? I was present at this event. This is the memorial for Charlie Kirk. I was in the vice president's box, actually, at this time. And Erica Kirk spoke.
Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do.
They know not what they do, but you're grieving.
That man. That young man. I forgive him.
God, he was 30, 31, 32? I can't believe it's almost been a year.
Now, at that same event, well, people were trying to pay tribute.
There's a food tech convention, and really? Oh, dude. No, I'll absolutely keep an eye out for. I don't know how I'll find that, but I'll take a peek, see if I can find it.
To Charlie's memory, the conspiracism just continued to be unleashed. Of course, Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are allies in this sort of conspiracism, as we'll see. Tucker started off a little more subtle and then became a lot more blatant. At the memorial, Tucker started talking about guys eating hummus who were planning to shut Charlie up, something like that. Now, again, he was making, I would say, this could have been read. I think it was meant to be read, because Tucker is not stupid, as a sort of biblical reference to truth in the New Testament. But I have doubts this is what Tucker actually was trying to do.
And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us. We stop talking. And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, "I've got an idea. Why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem."
Absolutely insane. As awkward as Ben Shapiro going up there and calling out people who did need to be called out, but maybe not on this day. Tucker Carlson and the guy who used to run Breitbart, that crazy fucker who actually is in the Epstein files for naughty reasons. Yeah, those were way more awkward, especially in hindsight.
Now, as you'll see, later, Tucker's thoughts would become a little clearer. It turns out that he kind of literally meant that he thinks that people in a lamplit room eating hummus came up with some sort of plan to kill Charlie. Okay, so by October 12th, Candace is now claiming that Egyptian Air Force planes flying out of Utah had something to do with this. Quote, on September 10th, after Charlie's assassination, an Egyptian Air Force plane flew out of Provo, Utah. Tail number SUBTT. It's the first trip to America ever. Was made on July 20th to an Army base in Nebraska. Tyler Robinson must have had some powerful friends. We have the Egyptian plane theory. Fast forward to December 10th. So on December 10th, as you recall, Candace had said a couple of months earlier that if Erica asks her to stop, she'll stop. On December 10th, Erica told Candace to stop on Fox News.
And so my message to them is to stop. To stop.
But she didn't say Candace directly, guys. Come on.
Okay, and December 11th, here was Candace's response.
It was like, look, she's got a whole business that she's got to figure out. A lot of people in her ear. Maybe they did this transition too quickly, and she's just keeping her head. No, what she's saying is Turning Point USA is untouchable, and it's a no from
like this right here. Again, watch the original video. Don't just doom scroll through TikTok, through X, through Facebook, through Instagram, any of that. Actually watch the video and pause it. This looks more like, I can't remember his name, but there's an actor in the 90s. He was the guy who had the really big pimple on Liar Liar, and he had been in a couple other things. He's one of those, that guy. That looks more like this guy in this AI-generated freeze frame of security camera footage. That's clarified, quote unquote. But yeah, then this guy who's missing a chromosome and who has probably a gaping butthole.
Me.
Okay, so she won't stop, as it turns out, because she's a sociopathic liar. Okay, December 14th, Erica did an interview with Barry Weiss on CBS and asked Candace to stop. Again, needless to say, this did not meet with any sort of conciliatory ear.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time,
You remember,
a friend
that
of
bitch.
Charlie's. At one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
And people will give. Look, I don't know Erica Kirk. I don't know her heart or any of that. She could be an evil person who just wants to take over. Stop breaking the law, asshole. I love that line. Sorry, someone put that in the chat. But she could be an evil woman who just wanted to get Charlie's money and he died and it kind of worked out for her or whatever. Or she could be the loving, doting, grieving wife that she's presenting herself as. I believe the second, because I haven't seen anything compelling to suggest otherwise. I know she's got a history. I know she's got a past. A lot of religious people do before they get married, settle down, have kids. But people will say that these crazed, piercing eyes are showing her true colors. I still see it as a grieving widow. Again, if I see compelling evidence to the contrary, I'll change, my thought on that. If she turns out to be super evil, I don't think that anything will ever come out. Certainly not to go towards anything Candace Owens has said. If it does, well, I don't know, man. What a crazy world. I mean, the world's crazy enough without Candace Owens being right about things.
Well, it didn't stop. Actually, under pressure, Erica then went and flew to Candace. Again, the insanity of this entire situation is beyond, honestly, it's beyond me. Somebody convinced Erica it would be a great idea to fly to Candace to have a meeting. And Candace pretty openly implied that she didn't want to meet with Erica in a place where Erica was in charge of the beverages because she was afraid of being poisoned or some such nonsense. So Erica Kirk tweeted out, Candace Owens and I are meeting for a private in-person discussion Monday, December 15th. We have agreed that public discussions, live streams, and tweets are on hold until after this meeting. I look forward to a productive conversation. Thank you. Well, shocker, there was no actual productive conversation that took place. Erica said there was a productive conversation, maybe from her end. It appeared to be productive. It certainly was not productive because by December 17th, Candace was appearing on Piers Morgan, Jerry Springer show, and talking about how people at Turning Point were complicit.
Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen. There were people at Turning Point who are engaged in a cover-up.
No, you didn't.
I believe that thoroughly.
And then remember, we showed, I think yesterday, 5 minutes later, she said, I never said that. What are you talking about? You can't prove that. It's not like this is being recorded.
Okay, now,
anyway, sorry.
all of this was lead up to, I spoke at TPUSA, and obviously in my speech, I brought all this up. I brought up Candace, I condemned her by name, I talked about how what she was doing was evil. I brought up the conspiratorial
she's the worst.
promoted by Tucker Carlson. I brought up the fact that Megyn Kelly had been pretending that Candace didn't exist as a human, or that she wasn't actually promoting anti-TPUSA, anti-Erica trash. I brought all of that up at TPUSA, and that caused a bit of consternation on the right, and I was accused of, quote-unquote, dividing the movement. Right? You literally had Candace Owens implicating Erica, TPUSA. You had, as we'll see, Tucker Carlson buying into this, providing cover for it, Megyn Kelly doing the same. And yet, the people who noted it were the people dividing the movement. Okay, the conspiracies didn't stop. They did not stop. On February 23rd, fast forward a couple of months, Candace posted the trailer for what she called Bride of Charlie, with iconography suggesting Bride of Chucky. There are 8 episodes in total, about one.
By the way, if y'all want me to react to the Candace Owens Bride of Charlie videos, they're about an hour each. I looked it up. I will do that. I will make it my Saturday show for a solid month. I'll watch probably at least one, maybe 2 of them until they are complete. Let me know if I get at least 3 likes on total across all platforms for this broadcast. I will do it. And I'm including the like that I'm going to drop myself.
1 hour each. And here are some of the theories, just some of the theories, that Candace has now retailed about Erica. 1, Erica is a lesbian groomer who is tied to Jeffrey Epstein's child trafficking
A
network.
lesbian groomer.
She suggested that Erica doing charity work in Romania is actually tied to sex trafficking. And she framed a quote-unquote broader pattern of evil, pointing to things like TPUSA facilities being located near Arizona Mills, which she describes as a child trafficking hotspot. She says that Erica and Epstein, quote, may have crossed paths because Erica once worked with Next Model Management, which was founded by a person who was friends with Epstein. Second, she claims that Erica essentially conned Charlie into marrying her and was a nefarious manipulator. She suggested that she had lied about her past and alleged discrepancies in her birth date.
This is all just her being jealous, because it's very clear that Candace Owens loved Charlie Kirk. She was in love with him, and he chose Erica for whatever reason. Love her or hate her, but I mean, in the chat, I mean, ask Jews to join people. Want Jews dead, but if you bring it up, you are bad. Oh, yeah, the division in the conservative movement where now all of a sudden, like, anti-Semitism doesn't make any sense to me. Like, hating Jews just to hate Jews, when honestly, a majority of the reason that people hate Jews is because of secular Jews. But it's the secular Jews that are leading the charge in a lot of the hate on Jews. At least on the left. On the right, it's... and even when Shlomo Fuentes is... Lesbians be scissoring on their enemies. Oh, my God. Scissor me timbers. But no, and when Shlomo Fuentes, secret Yiddish agent, is defending... defending Jews against people from Candace Owens' camp, you know that they're pretty out there when it comes to their inane hatred of Jews.
Across legal documents
on the right.
And contested details of her pre-Charlie dating life, brought up old photos of her with the guy she had dated before Charlie. Third, she has claimed that Erica was working with the Israeli government. Again, all of that ties into Candace's theory, now echoed by Tucker Carlson, that Charlie was not murdered by a trans-loving gay man, but actually was murdered because of his increasing skepticism of American ties with Israel. Also, according to Candace, a Freemason hit squad may have been involved, also the French. Candace then went on and linked Erica's childhood school to what she called MK Ultra adjacent figures. MK Ultra was a bizarre CIA project in the 1960s and 70s, utilizing drugs in order to recruit particular fringe figures. And then she connected her family peripherally to occult scholarship, and of course, then tried to implicate Benjamin Netanyahu and also a Romanian church in a child trafficking scandal. Fourth, she suggested that Erica had manufactured the story of Charlie being shot in the neck and briefly surviving. And fifth, she had suggested there was actually a deep fake of Charlie Kirk's voice that was being used to deem Erica the successor of Something Happened to Charlie. And this is all just conspiratorial nonsense that she was putting out there into the universe. And naturally, she found allies. March 24th, 2026, shortly after Joe Kent he was about to be fired, but he left from the federal government. He then suggested that there was a foreign nexus, and he would testify at Kirk's trial about a foreign nexus, even if it helped the Robinson defense. So all of this is turning into a broader miasma of conspiratorial nonsense. On March 30th, the Daily Mail published a misleading headline about the ballistics not matching Tyler Robinson's rifle. And that was not true, okay, because actually what the actual thing showed is that the bullet fragmented. So there's no identifiable bullet. The headline said that the bullet didn't match, so it couldn't be matched because it fragmented. That doesn't mean.
But that's the thing. When people say it couldn't, this is what drives me crazy. People will take something, and them being stupid people won't understand what people are saying to them, and will be like, so what you're saying is the bullet didn't match. No, I'm saying the bullet couldn't be matched because it fragmented, it shattered, so we couldn't get anything off of it. Okay, so it wasn't the bullet. No, I'm not saying it. I'm saying we can't tell because the bullet shattered. Okay, so it can't be confirmed that this is the bullet. Yes, so it's not the bullet. And then that's when I start screaming, "Damn it, are you fucking with me?" Like Billy Bob Thornton from Bad Santa.
That if it were intact, it wouldn't have matched. Now, one of the theories, Candace claimed that a source of hers witnessed a guy named Brian Harpole, who was Charlie's head of security, leaving what appeared to be a high-level meeting with senior military officials at Fort Huachuca, an army base in Arizona, on September 9th, 2025. That's the day before Charlie was murdered, obviously. She suggested that this was a final meeting, a sort of covert op meeting before Charlie's killing, and she tried to claim some sort of involvement by Erica, rooted, I guess, in involvement with Erica and a documentary that filmed a little bit at Fort Huachuca. Harpole was in Dallas at the time, by the way. He has now filed a defamation lawsuit against Candace Owens. Okay, Candace didn't stop, not for one moment. June 10th of this year, Candace says Charlie was not killed by the left, and she attacked Erica again.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and we all know that it wasn't by the left, okay? Charlie Kirk was not assassinated.
We don't
by
know
the
that.
left. I don't care how many influencers are paid to tell you otherwise. We have common sense, okay?
No, you don't. That's not what that is. We have truthiness. It's literally that thing that Stephen Colbert talked to us about back when he was funny.
We may have power and money, and Barry Weiss is being installed to control the media, the mainstream media, but we have common sense. And we know Charlie Kirk was not assassinated.
Barry Weiss was not installed. Okay. Barry Weiss is a center person who is there to make sure that the media is as unbiased as it can be. Okay, love her or hate her, I'm sure she's not left enough for the entire left, and I'm sure she's not right enough for a lot of the right. But as far as I've seen so far, she's been fairly based, for the most part, as much as she can be.
Assassinated by a random leftist and his trans furry boyfriend.
Why are you dressed like Fleur LaFleur from Harry Potter?
We know that this is deep state. We know that we are looking at an assassination akin to JFK. And
We're not. We're not.
The subject matter is Israel.
It's probably as impactful as JFK, maybe, but with no conspiracy behind it. Okay, it's just a stupid-ass kid propelled by media bullshit, okay, because the media has... They don't call you a Nazi because you're a Nazi. They call you a Nazi so that they can kill you. That's literally it. The media has been calling Charlie Kirk a Nazi pusher, anti-this, racist, sexist, feminist, bigot, homophobe, not feminist, all the things. And using out-of-context clips to facilitate that bullshit. And then... some sheep from Utah, of all places, the ultimate home of sheep. Sorry. I'm sorry if you're Mormon. Mormons are some of the nicest people I've ever met. I've never met anyone who's extreme as this Tyler Robinson person. But But yeah, he's a sheep. I'm sorry. And that's it. Brainwashed by bullshit on both mainstream media and social media, driven by the narrative, as a lot of violent actors from the current left have been. Charlie was just unfortunately the biggest name, the biggest player. I do believe that he is a big reason that Trump won. And the best always die young. The good always die young. But pricks live for fucking ever. Just look at, again, old Turkey Neck, who's, I've heard he's brain dead, from Kentucky. Mitch McConnell. Just look at Bernie Sanders. People who will not die.
How does she know any of this? Well, she says Charlie came to her in dreams.
Oh, she came to me in a dream. Said
She
Candace.
doesn't know, but she knows. That's a thing that she has said.
No, that's literally verbatim. I don't know, but I know. You know? I mean, God, I know.
Alrighty, coming up, we'll get to some of the other conspiracy theorists who aren't Candace Owens. Hint, their names rhyme with Tucker Carlson. We'll get to that in a moment. First, do you want to perform at the highest level? The data is mostly true. Well, obviously, these sorts of conspiracy % off Lux mattresses and 30% off Elite mattresses. Now, obviously, these sorts of conspiracy theories have now been promulgated across the entire horseshoe woke right. Again, here's June 16th, just a couple of weeks ago, Tucker Carlson, laughing as alleged comedian Jimmy Dore pushed conspiracy theories about Charlie's murder and mocked Erica Kirk.
Takes the gun apart, leaves the screwdriver there, puts it under a towel, Spider-Man's his way off the top of a building, runs across campus.
Okay, two things. One, he's a stupid kid, okay? I'm an adult and I leave shit everywhere, okay? And he didn't Spider-Man across a roof, okay? He jumped off of a 2-story roof and somehow managed to get away without breaking his whole fucking self. God, I can't imagine doing that. So, but yeah, no, he was up awkwardly walking, not unlike the guy who attempted to shoot Trump and he got a shot off. Like, what are we talking about?
With the gun apparently under towel.
I've never looked at Jimmy Dore straight on.
Spider-Man's his way off
right
the
here.
top of a building, runs across campus with the gun.
Right there. Dear God, that's horrifying.
Apparently under towel, nobody sees this. He runs into the woods, puts the gun back together again without the screwdriver. He's a regular MacGyver, this guy. And then he hides the gun in the backyard of a house owned by Palantir. And if you think anything else besides that, you're a crazy Jew-hating conspiracy nut.
Friend to Erica. Tucker laughing along to all of that. By the way, Tucker just says it openly. He says the same thing as Candace, that Charlie wasn't killed for his trans opinions. The implication, of course, is that Charlie was killed over Israel.
Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And he was not murdered for his opinions on transgenderism, obviously.
And Tucker Carlson is also someone who will say something live on air and then be like, I never said that. Oh!
I believe, and most people who knew him well, as I did, and was friends with him as I was, believe he was most likely murdered for his evolving views on Israel.
Now again, what evidence is there for that? None, obviously. But according to Candace, July 2nd, on the Sean Ryan show, again, so many sources of brain rot, so little time, she says that she doesn't even believe that Tyler Robinson was there.
You think
Tyler Robinson was there?
You don't think he was there?
I think he's a total patsy. I think they get lookalikes and they got everybody wearing the same outfit. I think he played a role, and I believe that what he did was he picked up clothes and he dumped them behind the Dairy Queen.
Okay, so as this week began, there was a tete-a-tete between Andrew Colvett, who's the producer for Charlie Kirk and close friend of Charlie Kirk, and Candace Owens. Candace put out a tweet. It's an old picture of her with Charlie. One more fight, Charlie. I don't fear these demons. We will win. And Andrew Colvett put out a tweet. Candace, you and Charlie.
Wait, one more fight? Does that mean it's over after this, that you'll stop? Does that mean you'll stop, or are you lying about that too?
We're not friends. He managed you. He kept things light and polite so you wouldn't turn on the organization. Show me any proof of genuine friendship from the last 12 months of his life, from the last 18 months, from the last 24 months. Not some 2018 text, something recent. You gave him anxiety whenever you called or texted, asking or demanding to speak at our events. He made me or Justin deal with you and George. This is why when you tried to hire me in February 2024 for PR, I agreed to go along with it against my better judgment because Charlie asked me to keep you close and protect the organization from you. The publicist I tried to hire to run point prayed about it and felt the Lord told her a firm no, and so I ultimately declined. This is your central foundational lie. You are not his friend. You are not his defender. You are his tormentor. And now you torment his wife and the organization he built. Candace, you are a fraud. And Candace immediately responded with a bunch of tweets between her and Charlie Kirk in the last year or so of his life that seem, kind of arm's length, but warm. Now, the question is who to believe in all this. Now, here's my thing. I don't care. I actually don't. I don't care very much about the interpersonal workings of the Charlie Kirk relationship with Candace Owens or the Andrew Colvett relationship with Charlie Kirk or Candace Owens or any of the rest. I think that the facts suggest that Andrew is telling the truth and Candace is not. Also because Candace makes a habit of saying things that are untrue. Put all that aside. Assume that everything that Candace says about her deep and abiding relationship with Charlie is true and Andrew is lying. That still would not change anything that she has been doing since his death. Not a single thing. You understand where we are now? Where we are right now is that it has become sport to mock the widow of a person who is murdered.
Speaking of sports, quick side tangent. So, seems like a good time to remind everyone that the United States women's soccer team has won 4 World Cups. To which this person and this person wanted to point out, it's important to mention that the U.S. women's national soccer team was defeated 5-2 in April 2017. That's the team that this bitch was on, by the FC Dallas U15 team. They were therefore 15 years old or younger. And this person even gave her an extra year. It also seems like a good time to mention that they were beaten by a bunch of 16-year-old boys. Again, yes, you're good, I guess, but not that good. Congratulations. You're the best of the worst. And Megan Rapinoe is just... Ugh, gross. Sorry.
And to claim that his organization was complicit in the murder and the cover-up. Right? That is the thing that Candace has done. And that is evil, full stop. It doesn't matter whether they went fishing together. It doesn't matter if their kids played together. It doesn't matter if they were best friends. It doesn't matter if they were sexting. None of that matters. Because once Charlie is murdered and you start attacking his widow and his organization and everybody surrounding him and trying to acquit the person who actually murdered him, once you do that, you are engaging in evil. And when you are doing that in order to, again, boost your likes and boost your clicks, and spread conspiracy theories about the way the world works, deep networks of evil conspirators who can reach out and tap Charlie Kirk in the neck and kill him without being detected, with cover-up artists in the federal government and all the like. You are promoting evil conspiratorial trash that rots brains. So I want to take just a second and debunk some of this. I know, it sounds wild.
Yay! Yeah, let's debunk. Let's get some debunking going.
Over the course of the last 10 months. And they're crazy, because they are. I mean, these theories are nuts. There is no evidence to suggest them.
Right, because Tucker's a big friend of J.D. Vance, and J.D. Vance is a big a good friend of what's-his-nuts from Palantir. By the way, I love that episode of that whole season of South Park that talked about Palantir.
She, again, is essentially relating what the radio has told her in her dreams at night. What the spirits have said to her, and she's pretending this is evidence.
The spirits have got me.
One brief second to debunk some of the claims. And the reason we'll do this is because maybe there are some listeners who actually think that she has researched any of this or that she knows what the hell she's talking about.
Okay.
And she clearly does not, nor does she care. I'm under no impression, by the way, that the people who are deeply ensconced in this sort of conspiracy theory will be persuaded by the recitation of actual facts. Because, again, that's not Candace's purpose.
Yeah, Peter Thiel, there you go.
Is to generate smoke, enormous amounts of smoke, fake smoke, in order for you to believe that there's fire, in order to implicate broad evil systems that she doesn't like, and all the people she doesn't like are implicated in the same system. Everyone she doesn't like, they're all implicated in this murder. They're all implicated in an evil system of control. That is Candace's entire shtick, and it's eating. I mean, it's brain cancer. It's eating the brain of the right. But I'll take just a moment for those who maybe in good faith have heard clips or little questions about Candace's theories, and we'll talk about what actually happened here. So, number one, she has claimed that Erica orchestrated or assisted in Charlie's assassination, possibly to seize control of TPUSA or hide other misconduct. This has been peddled by Candace Owens, also by professional derelict Milo Yiannopoulos. There are variations that include...
I mean, honestly, Milo's entertaining. But he's not worth mentioning, okay? Ever since his career imploded after he said what happens to a lot of gay people during his interview with Joe Rogan, he said that he was groomed, basically, and that's very big in the gay community, which is true, okay? A lot of them think that that's okay because it happens so damn often. I can't tell you how many of my gay friends were groomed very young by older gay people. A couple of them even married the people who groomed them. But it happens very young, and it is very common, even in small towns like I'm from. The fact that he pointed that out, it shouldn't have ended his career, but the fact that he was still... he saw it as just normal because for the gay community, it is. Very much so. This isn't arguable. It's a fact. I, as someone who's been around the gay community a whole lot in my younger years, mostly because the gay bar in my hometown was the only one that let anyone under 21 in, and also I wanted to support my friends because I was a young, hearty liberal. But yeah, no, it's very much a fact. Very, very much a fact. And then Milo Yiannopoulos, ever since then, has been grasping at any sort of relevance. I believe he's heavily sedated himself with all kinds of drugs, which explains his current state. Is he entertaining? Yes. I try my best to sit through his schlock on Tim Pool every time he's on there. I would very much love to have a conversation with him. He seems like a fun dude. But he is dangerously volatile. From that to him going along with Nick Fuentes and Kanye West to eat with President Trump, he has, ever since he was ostracized for this interview with Joe Rogan, he has been trying to bring the right down. That's a fact. He has said that himself. But anyway, continuing.
Erica's rings, signaling secret society membership. Again, there is zero evidence here. Zero. The vast majority of this crap is just people reviewing in detail tape of Erica and saying she's not crying at the appropriate place or smiling at the appropriate place. That
she's trying to be strong. Yes, she's a grieving widow, but she's also now the head of a major organization that her husband helped build. He's the whole reason it was built. That's a huge undertaking. Like I said, she's basically Demi Moore from season 2 of Landman. Only with no plastic surgery. Yet. But I don't know. Like I said, if anyone believes that she is what they all say she is, that's fine. I'm not going to, say you're allowed to believe what you want to believe. I completely understand that. If I see compelling evidence that shows that she was any kind of awful spouse, then sure. But it doesn't mean that she's complicit in his murder.
her pants are too tight or that she is wearing white clothing when she should be wearing black.
Again, that could be symbolic. Maybe she's trying to be a light in the darkness of the current times. Who knows why people do anything? But again, you can say what you want about grieving widows and how they should do this or this or this or this. How many of those grieving widows are now the head of major corporations, or major companies rather, that their husbands were formerly the head of? Yes, she's not as good at this as Charlie. Yes, she will probably fail. But she's doing her best. And she could just liquidate the whole thing and let it all fall and live very comfortably for the rest of her freaking life. I'm sorry. This is mostly me being upset for the loss of Charlie Kirk. I wasn't a big fan of his, but I very much appreciated his work. I've seen a lot of clips. I've seen a lot more since his death. I think he was a positive force in the universe, on Earth, in the country, whatever. He's the kind of conservative that liberals should want across from them. He was a good man, so it seemed. I have no compelling reason to think otherwise, but everything I've seen, good man. He was someone who didn't care if you were gay, trans, whatever. Just don't push it on kids. Just don't do this. Don't do this. Caveats. Feelings that it's okay to feel. And again, I can't stand how the left wants so much acceptance, but doesn't give any in return.
The reality is that for those who saw Erica in the days after Charlie's death, she was devastated. I mean, I know because I saw her the Monday after Charlie's death. But you don't have to take my word for it. Stacey Sheridan, TPUSA's Senior Director for Advancement, was right there by Erica's side after Charlie's death. And the conspiracists asked why Erica's family and friends weren't with her. The truth is that Erica was joined by family, close friends, staff, and pastors at Charlie's funeral, his public memorial, and every single public event. There is one so-called eyewitness named Mitch Snow. He's a retired Army sergeant who appeared on Candace's show and said that he was 95% sure that he saw Charlie's former security chief, Brian Harpole, and Erica Kirk at a military base a day before Charlie's assassination. Snow is not credible. He has multiple anti-harassment orders against him, including for domestic issues as recently as 2023, and Harpole can show he was in Dallas at the time. And then people were trying to make fun of Erica or impute evil motive to her.
Oh my God. Candace. Okay, so 10 minutes ago, Candace said, here's another question, guys. It took a while for the video of Charlie being shot to go viral. How the hell did Ben Shapiro know he had been hit within just a few minutes? Because it didn't take a while. It was instant. Everyone was talking about it within minutes of it happening. What are you talking about? Everyone was there. It's like 9/11. Everyone remembers where you were when this happened, whether you thought it was a good thing or a bad thing. Even if you were indifferent. People who I didn't even know knew who Charlie Kirk was like, my God, did you hear about Charlie Kirk? Already on the phone with Charlie's security while Charlie was in the car being transported to the hospital. Everybody, look back in your phone and see when you found out. Outside of the people in literal attendance, did anyone in outside world find out within mere minutes of Charlie getting hit? Yes! Within like 5 minutes of it happening. Everybody, people present complained they didn't have service, so we know that upload speeds were slow. I found out about 20 minutes after. How did the worm find out and establish communication with Charlie's security team during crucial life-saving minutes? Ben Shapiro is evil incarnate? Where is the evidence? This is a clip we've already seen. In anything that we've seen so far, this is the part where he said that his security team was talking to their security team. Where is anything suggesting that Ben Shapiro is evil incarnate? Don't let this crazy black hair and those big old thick beefy eyebrows make you think that this tiny Jew, who will soon be second head Jew just behind Lord Nuxanor, is evil? Obnoxious, sure. Who the hell isn't these days? He's got a very high voice for a person who's allegedly 5'9". I'm sorry. He seems like a lovely guy. Hi, Ben. You'll probably never see this. But for Candace Owens to say that he is evil, not the person harassing his grieving widow and family members and all of his friends. No. Candace Owens is a soldier of light. She is the beacon of hope. The terror that flaps in the night. What a lunatic. Lunatic. Absolute lunacy. Anyway. 40,000 views, 900 likes. Jesus. Anyway.
because she posted a video of her grieving next to Charlie's open coffin. Okay, and saying that the ring that she wears is a Freemason ring because it has the letter G on it. But the G is most likely a G for her daughter Gigi. Okay.
It's a G for Freemasonry. It's not a G for her daughter, whose name is GG.
Other claims that Candace has made.
If you've seen One Piece with a capital G. Anyway.
That Erica and TPUSA executives had ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Again, this is the all-purpose conspiracy theory for the woke right and the woke left. Jeffrey Epstein as master string puller past his death, years past his death, to the death of Charlie Kirk. And that Charlie was actually assassinated to prevent him from exposing some sort of human trafficking ring. Candace circulated a conspiracy about Erica participating in child trafficking out of Romania. By the way, when it comes to actual alleged sex traffickers out of Romania, like Andrew Tate, Candace is totally on board. When it comes to Erica Kirk, she's just making shit up. The theory alleges...
Yeah, keep that in mind when Candace Owens accuses anyone of being part of sex trafficking. Her husband is a friend of the Tate brothers.
That Arizona properties near the U.S.-Mexico border were used for trafficking schemes, and TPUSA adjacent people have ties to those properties. Again, this is a totally unrelated homicide case having nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. There is no, count it, zero evidence establishing links between Erica, Charlie, TPUSA, or Jeffrey Epstein. There is a real ICE case about a Phoenix property that was used for human trafficking from 2014, but there's no evidence tying that whatsoever to either TPUSA or anyone in its orbit. So basically, she found an address near another address from years before. Okay, apparently, she says that there is a connection between Erica and Eastern Europe because she called her grandparents morfar and farfar, which are terms of endearment in Sweden because Erica is of Swedish descent. Erica also worked for a Christian charity for orphans that did some work in Romania before. And the charity once worked with somebody who was accused of abusing minors. So you string all that together, and somehow she arrives at, somehow, magically, Erica was a sex trafficker. Okay, then, the claim that, of course, has gone most viral because on the internet, anything that mentions Jews or Israel goes most viral. And this is that Mossad ordered a hit on Charlie Kirk because he was planning to abandon the pro-Israel cause. Pretty much.
Which is absolutely insane. Of all the religions, sure, Judaism is the one that kills people for wanting to leave even advocacy for it? No.
Pretty much every conspiracy theorist has embraced this theory. Tucker has embraced this theory. Candace specifically took a Max Blumenthal, who is a lying piece of crap, originated story on Bill Ackman and a Hamptons meeting where Charlie was being forced to be pro-Israel in exchange for money, allegedly. That is not what happened at the meeting. I know a bunch of people who went to that meeting. Like a lot of people who went to that meeting. Charlie called it. Charlie asked people to come. And if I were going to theorize about what exactly this meeting was, my guess is what the meeting was designed to do was to impress Bill Ackman as a potential donor with the fact that Charlie was taking questions about Israel seriously. In any case, there was this influencer gathering in August of 2025 and included topics like the economic future of America, the cultural landscape of dating and marriage, the convergence of East and West, and Mamdani, the new threat to America. There were people who were both pro-Israel and pretty anti-Israel. Charlie Kirk, Bill Ackman corresponded on a bunch of topics thereafter, including launching more open mic events on campus and all of the rest. And then there is Candace's theory that there were two Egyptian Air Force planes that overlapped with Erica's locations over several years and were present near Cavill Airport on the day of Charlie's assassination. And this was proof of some sort of...
Oh my gosh. There's an alleged Egyptian plane within a state's worth of distance from Erica Kirk a couple of times. This must mean that something... What do Egyptian planes have to do with a Jewish conspiracy? I've never been able to figure it out, and I've actually watched some of this delusional
sort of foreign military
gobbledygook.
Ironically, not the Egyptians. It must have been the Israelis or the French. Well, there's only one problem. Candace doesn't understand time zones. Literally does not understand time zones. There is no evidence any planes have ever tracked Erica Kirk. Erica offered her flight logs publicly. Liz Wheeler has a full episode debunking this nonsense. And she found that Candace's definition of overlapping planes included Egyptian planes landing within 100 miles of Erica and 3 days before to 3 days after Erica got there. Okay, next crazy theory, a federal cover-up. So the idea here is that Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk by himself, that the FBI scripted the text messages and created a deeper plot.
I mean, they were very cringe, but young teenagers in love, especially if they're into any kind of arts, which some people would argue that being trans is performance art. Yeah, kids are just kind of cringe. Teenagers are kind of cringe. They were when I was a teenager. I'm sure they are now. And not gonna lie, as a young liberal myself, I used to talk like this to my girlfriends. Well, a couple of them. The kind that were more artsy-fartsy.
Deep state plot to cover all of this up.
Also
because
whores,
the
but
text messages are neat and stilted, and it can't just be that you have a trans person and a gay-loving furry who are tweeting, who are texting each other in stilted, weird fashion because they're stilted, weird people. No, it must be that the FBI is covering it up. Megyn Kelly once pressed Kash Patel on the fake-sounding text, and Kash Patel stood by everything in the charging documents as authentic. And by the way, the texts are not the only evidence. There's DNA, video, his parents' recognition, and Robinson surrendering to the cop. Surrendering. Okay, there are a bunch of claims about forensic anomalies, all of which are false. They say that there was no ambulance at the ready, no hospital footage of Charlie arriving, and they say they did not give Charlie CPR. Number one, HIPAA and privacy laws block public release of hospital video. Second, there's visual timelines that show Charlie's body being carried to a vehicle within minutes of being shot. Apparently, he was still alive at the time. Again, I know that only because my security was talking to his security in the car. Again, that is standard for active shooter scenarios because you don't want to leave somebody's prone body out there when there's an active shooter who's still shooting people. And as far as the CPR claim, you may have noticed he was shot in the neck and was bleeding out. CPR doesn't help you if you are shot in the neck and bleeding out. That's not how CPR works. There's a claim that there was no massive exit wound from the bolt-action rifle bullet. Well, an ATF report confirmed that a .30 caliber class deformed damaged bullet jacket fragment and 4 lead fragments were recovered in Charlie's autopsy. Damaged fragments can share class characteristics with Robinson's rifle. They can't be linked back to any gun because, again, they are fragments. Then there's the claim that Charlie was killed by his microphone exploding.
which is retarded.
Consumer-grade video runs at a certain number of frames per second that can blur cause and effect when you play them in extreme slow-mo. The ATF and FBI filings don't note any explosive residue, shrapnel from a device, or burns consistent with the detonation, and of course the autopsy shows he died of a bullet wound. And then they claim that that UVU paved over a courtyard where Charlie was killed and then installed pavers or something that supposedly hid a trap door, like a magic trap door. Again, this is so...
Yeah. So this university that has been there for a long time has a magic trap door. And they Houdini'd his ass off. My God. The fact that, and I gotta pull a clip up from Caleb Hammer. Hold on. I'm gonna look for it while this is playing.
It's retarded. Okay, this is retarded.
Yes.
And you're retarded if you believe it. In reality, the school was organizing a memorial to Kirk in the courtyard. Nobody's trying to hide that that's where Charlie was killed. And the school has invested in replacing the grass where Charlie was speaking with new pavers, but the pattern of pavers match standard hardscape and drainage designs. There is zero evidence of anything structurally anomalous. But again, the facts don't matter. This is the whole thing. The facts don't matter. I can spend all day doing this. The facts don't matter. They are of zero consequence to Candace or her myriad followers. Because here's the shtick. And this is always Candace's shtick, always in front. It also happens to be Tucker's shtick and the rest of the conspiracy woke right. The goal is to create a miasma of suspicion around an event in order to undermine trust in systems and foster a belief that the conspiratorial leader is the only one who's telling you the truth. That's the entire game.
Yeah.
It's the game over and over and over. So, in this particular...
And I will say, Candace Owens is very good at it, although I don't think she's practiced this. I really do think she's just naturally... she's a Pied Piper for people missing a chromosome.
Case. The goal is to create a bunch of smoke and nonsense, a bunch of distraction around Charlie's murder and around Erica. Because again, the idea here is to try to show that Erica is a joke or nefarious or an assassin and turn Charlie's assassination into, again, a call for conspiratorial thinking that implicates everything from our allies to the federal government, everything from close friends of Charlie's to his widow. I don't think Candace is stupid. I think Candace has a unique capacity to convince herself that anything she is saying at the time is a thing she believes. That is, in fact, a unique capacity. It makes her fantastic on camera. It also means that she's a sociopath.
Yes.
But do I think that Candace Owens, deep down, in her relatively stupid, I think Candace has a unique capacity to convince herself that anything she is saying at the time is a thing she believes.
Oh, no, absolutely. I really do think so. I think that she actually does believe all of her own bullshit, which makes her dangerous. Because a lot of other people believe her bullshit because she seems so genuine when she's constantly contradicting herself. My God. It came to me in a dream. What the fuck? Why are conservatives falling for this bullshit witchcraft?
That is, in fact, a unique capacity. It makes her fantastic on camera. It also means that she's a sociopath. But do I think that Candace Owens, deep down, in her rational brain, whatever is left of it, believes that Erica is complicit in Charlie's murder? I don't. I think that she does this because she is a sadist, and she enjoys watching Erica and TPUSA and everyone else sane try to fend off her insane accusations day after day. I think she enjoys watching episodes like this one and thinking, hey, look, Shapiro's spending all day on me. He's spending all day fending off these insane accusations. And again, on a broader societal level, the goal...
Yeah, she does. And if you've seen her X account, that's exactly what she does.
To essentially destroy anyone who stands in the way of Candace Owens' aspirations. And if Candace Owens can somehow craft a narrative, along with friends like Tucker Carlson or people who cover her for her, like Megyn Kelly or whomever, if they can craft these magical narratives where Erica Kirk is the villain. Again, you have to understand how crazy this is. This is legitimately like if there was a movement after MLK's assassination to somehow go after Coretta Scott King, or after JFK's assassination to go after Jackie O. It's hard to find an equivalent because an equivalent doesn't exist. But it works. It works because if you can turn the widow of a murdered man into a punchline, you can do anything. If you can use conspiratorial thinking to destroy the legacy of a person who is assassinated,
who you claimed to be friends with and who you clearly were in love with,
you can accomplish anything. You can tear down anything. Candace is a universal asset, and it works. It works. I mean, when comedian Drewski is making fun of Erica Kirk, and this is popular, and this is good, and this is considered like a normal punchline now. Again, this is not mocking an assassination, because again, we have lots of assassination jokes. It is mocking the widow of the person who was assassinated. And this was popular online. This is considered normal and cool and funny.
Get on your feet!
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. We are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the Holy Blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country.
She's never said anything like
America
that.
Again, this is all fun and games for Candace and her crowd. This is all fun.
She's never said anything like that.
It's just jokes. It's just jokes. Because again, normalizing evil, just say it's a joke. Here is Candace laughing at the monstrousness that she has created.
Because they are the ones who matter the most.
Okay, that black guy didn't say a single word, and just takes away the entire scene. Just perfect faces that he's making behind him. This is how everybody's feeling.
Okay, now, there are real-world consequences, both immediate consequences and then far-ranging consequences for this sort of stuff. First, the immediate consequences. So there is an institute called the National Contagion Research Institute, and they sort of investigate online trends and try to figure out how certain things percolate on the internet. They just released a report, July 2026, titled How Candace Owens Built a Digital Assassination Culture Targeting Erica Kirk. They did an analysis of X content, because X is where this stuff spreads most virally, targeting Erica between Charlie's assassination in September 2025 and June of 2026. Of the 712,559 posts on X referencing Erica that NCRI collected and analyzed, 1,034 contained explicit threats or incitement directed at Erica. NCRI found.
Yeah.
They reviewed about half of those explicit threat posts, and they found that 82.7% were genuine threats or incitement, and that Candace Owens was referenced in 9.2% of the posts. Her mention rate in explicit threat posts rose from 1% in September to 14.4% in December to 15.8% in February, coinciding with the launch of that Bride of Charlie docuseries. Owens herself has made 412 posts mentioning Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk, or TPUSA in that same period. 130 of those posts are Erica-specific. And NCRI found that Owens' Erica targeting posts on a given day predicted elevated threat volume 2 days later. A statistically unlikely...
It's almost as if she's making a career off of trying to break down and belittle the grieving widow of her alleged former friend. Allegedly.
Likely pattern. One of the 10 highest volume accounts generating Erica Kirk-related content was one called Adam E. Media, which references Owens in 26.2% of its posts.
Yeah, Adame is a grifter. He's a retard.
Is a pro-Russia fake MAGA node, this particular account. So, again, Erica's not been able to do public events. Obviously, the outsized hatred and mockery of Erica is being generated somewhere, and we know where that is coming from. And that's evil. It's wrong. She's a widow with a couple of kids. It's disgusting. And again, not all fun and games, not all jokes, not just a bunch of entertainment content that you're consuming, you know, like it's George Noory at 2 a.m. and you're listening to alien stuff. This is evil. And it has much, much deeper consequences even than the immediate. And this is a real question. Is there a conservative movement left to save? That's the question. Because conservatism depends on one very simple premise. You are responsible for your own actions. Conspiratorial systems are not responsible for your failures.
Yes.
Your choices are in your own hands. That is what conservatism is rooted in a free country like the United States. But if you sell people a bag of goods that says that everything around you is a manipulated system, that you live in the Matrix, that everything around you is a manipulated...
That you live in the Matrix. Sneeko.
...system. All your failures are the result of deeply embedded evil systems that can get away with anything from assassination to child sex trafficking. And you can't even see the evidence because the cover-up is that good. If you start to believe that, you will not just ruin your life, you'll ruin the country. See, here's the thing. Watching Candace Owens do this shtick is not just a matter of watching some trash TV, you know, while you're bored at the office. It's not watching Jerry Springer or Ricky Lake or something. For conservatives, this is a matter of whether your mind will be captured by a theory of the world that suggests, again, you are not in control of your own life. You need some sort of wizard-like figure to guide you through the political spirit world, that there is no truth that you can discover except if you are guided there by somebody with dreams who knows that everything you don't like is the result of systems designed to harm you and your family. That stuff is cancerous. It's cancerous to a constitutional republic. It's cancerous to conservatism. So here's the thing. It's an actual sin to listen to Candace Owens spew this evil trash. If you do, you're giving her your time, which means that obviously she's making a lot of money off of this sort of stuff. But what's far more important than the money, because money is just money, but what's far more important, if you give her your brain cells to kill, you are harming yourself, you are harming the world. Stop pretending that you're subscribing to ideological pornography just because it's entertaining. It's soul-destroying. Not just for Erica Kirk or her children or the people at TPUSA, but for you, and then for the country. Now, people who are trying to destroy the country and the soul of the country, the left obviously wants to do this. By the way, an ineffective right, a right that succumbs to this sort of conspiratorial nonsense at the highest levels. And again, it has percolated up to the highest levels of the Republican Party, people who engage in this sort of conspiratorial, anti-thinking trash. A conservative movement that destroys itself is not capable of facing down a left-wing movement that is ascendant right now. And the America haters are on the move. What an amazing video you just watched, wasn't it?
What a horrible end this little end stinger is. But no, I saw that video earlier. I was gonna hold on. We're gonna got no strings. I love how it's Putin.
Welcome to the puppet show. Everybody's watching the puppet.
Nah, I noticed this a little bit earlier.
Nobody's looking at the strings.
I don't know if this is AI generated music, so I'm gonna pause it every so often.
Time to rise and shine.
This is something that Yanuka sent me on X. I had seen it earlier, but it was way down on my on my tabs.
Who's behind the strings? Wooden Grin podcast beam. Every headline's another scheme. Trust me, y'all, it came in a dream.
Came in a dream.
Charlie's dead. Now he's trending. Rumors fly. Every episode reaches sky high. Question stack. Theory swing. Who's backstage pulling the strings? Podcast friends at the Grifting Queen. Round and around the carousel goes. Every new tell me's the nose grows. Smoking mirrors. Velvet rings. Who's behind the strings? Crazy. Loony. Cuckoo. Candace. Every time she opens
What the fuck? Yes, please.
True walks out while rumors sing. Who's behind the strings? Big top like infallible haze. Everybody's lost.
I believe that last one.
Is it you? Soros. We're watching to Qatar. Could it be? It's not all what it seems. Who's behind the strings?
That's good. That is awesome. Okay, so real quick, I got a little. No, I just wanted to.
Nice to meet you, Ben.
So this is Linda Cardellini, the girl that played Hawkeye's wife, and she also played Velma on the live-action Scooby-Doo in the early 2000s. This is one of her earliest roles on Kenan and Kel. This is where I fell in love with her. This and the Kenan and Kel, or the Good Burger movie. She played the crazy girl in that too. Yeah, this is where my crush for Linda Cardellini started. But anyway, moving on past that.
I have an exclusive offer just for the like conspiracy theories and like I don't even know what the fuck is happening. What are we? What the?
So these people are Candace Owens fans, and they're on Financial Audit. I'll end the show with this.
What are we talking about?
We talk about finances. I'll get a mortgage right now.
So that's why we're here,
but if
though,
we're based on conspiracy,
We're here to get famous off bullshit.
When I pay my bill.
But what is this conspiracy shit?
Okay, which one? Charlie Kirk's not actually dead.
What?
Selena Gomez is actually
What?
dead, and her and Justin Bieber's love child is with.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Well, it's conspiracy theories.
Someone's killed my marriage out here.
Yeah, he doesn't really agree.
I don't know. I saw some videos.
Her being retarded has would you do it for a Scooby snack? If you're talking about Linda Cardellini, I would do that and then enjoy the Scooby snack after. Yes, I'm sorry.
A lot on Twitter that day.
What day?
I do love a pup named Scooby Doo. Anyway.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fake though. So
you saw some people
did
die,
you-
probably. Did
Yeah.
that look like death?
No.
Yeah, it's questionable.
Oh,
it's questionable.
It's not. It's not. It's not.
Well, dude, I've seen people shot. I've been part
You've
of
seen
shootings.
movies. Does that
in
look
the
like
real
death?
world,
That looks more like death than the
I don't
Charlie
think
Kirk.
movies are like.
But it is.
I'll put it to you this way. You
Can
look
I
at his,
talk?
when you look at this situation, right? First off, a man shooting a shot that far away
A man,
has to
he
be
was a child.
has to be very.
He was 19. He's a man. Okay, he's a very young man. But he's a man.
Very, very good. I'll
Maybe he
tell you
got
that right
also
now.
just very lucky.
But the bullet that was supposedly used would have blown up his
I'll
neck.
say this. I was an expert shooter in the military. I scored perfect every single time I've shot a weapon in the
That's not true. Okay, it was a standard size rifle round, and it did what it does. Okay, it wasn't a fucking sniper rifle. It was a rifle.
military.
The blood
300
didn't
yards,
even stain
25
his
feet forward,
clothes.
whatever, right?
So where is he? Why would he
And-
do this?
So he's an okay. So there's
Here we
theories.
go. Here we
So
go.
there's theories. Okay, so he can either his wife Erica Kirk was in on it, or like in on the conspiracy, and she's in hiding
So
with
we
him.
got some Candace watchers.
Or yes,
Yes.
100%. We know. We know.
And we know. We don't know, but we know. You know what I mean? Oh my God, this is her fan base. These people can vote. They have the same vote as, well, not y'all because y'all aren't in this country, but anyone else who's watching besides my main viewers.
Okay.
We know.
But
You
we
think.
don't know.
You think.
We don't know, but we know.
It's called a think, not a know.
No, we know. So,
See, she even says her exact thing. We don't know, but we know. Do you know? Yeah.
These are like.
But it is.
I'll put it to you this way. You
Can
look
I
at his,
talk?
that far away.
But the bullet that was supposedly used would have blown up his
I'll
neck.
say this. I was an expert, whatever, right?
So where is he? Why would he
And-
do this?
So he's an okay. So there's
Here we
theories.
go. Here we
So
go.
there's theories. Okay, so he can either
I thought
his
she was gonna say he
wife,
could teleport.
Erica Kirk was in on it, or like in on the conspiracy, and she's in hiding
And
with
so we
him.
got some Candace watchers.
Or yes, 100%. We
Okay,
know.
okay.
We know. Okay,
We know.
but
You
we
think.
don't know.
You think.
We don't know, but
It's
we
called,
know.
it's called a think, not a know.
No, we know. So, so
We,
either
the
his
collective
wife-
group of
she's got
retards that
ties
watch Candace
to
Owens.
Child trafficking.
Not true.
She does.
Based off of.
Based off of the work she did with children. She was kicked out of what was the country? She was kicked out of the country.
She
for
wasn't.
it.
She wasn't kicked out of the
Yeah.
country.
So,
The country.
You gotta know this, dog.
well, it was like Slavia.
Slavia.
Not Slavia. I don't,
country, bro.
where is
It was one of the Slavias,
No,
wasn't
there was
it?
a
Oh my
country that
God.
Was it Ukraine? No, it wasn't Ukraine.
No, it wasn't.
She
It wasn't
did-
Ukraine. It was one of the other
Don't look at
Slavias.
me like that. I'm legit. Like
We just name all the.
Yeah, you watch Candace Owens' show, so already we know that we don't know, but we know that you're retarded.
Well, I'm just waiting to get
I know.
here or
I'm
something.
trying to remember the country, but she was kicked out of a country. She was doing like adoption work for little kids that don't have parents, and they were going missing, and so she was kicked out of the country.
We're not going to have Pepsi with baby flavoring in it. I mean, what the hell have we become?
So Erica Kirk, you're saying,
I'm alleging.
you're alleging,
No, she's saying. She's straight up saying.
the child.
Candace Owens makes Alex Jones look like Walter Cronkite.
Ringleader
She's in on it.
and Charlie didn't
So,
die because
possibly.
of that?
No. So she's okay. So she's was basically his handler, and either there's two different theories. Okay, so either she was his handler, he found out about all her bullshit.
Weren't they just like a classic Christian couple like y'all? Oh,
no.
thanks.
The so
Isn't that
okay.
kind of what he was preaching?
Well, in the video where he's being shot, it wasn't actually him. It was a hologram.
Oh.
There was a,
Like Tupac or Michael Jackson. It was a hologram, guys.
there was a trap door. There was a trap door, and the
But
hologram
you don't
got.
actually believe this. You're just having fun with this.
No, I believe this. I believe one of two theories. That's one of the theories. I don't believe he's actually dead.
Okay, and the other theory would be.
Well, I've got.
Well, now I understand why you guys can't talk about things because you guys are like
Retarded.
scary.
Retarded.
With your
About the
brains.
trap door that you think.
Well, yeah, the door. There was a trap door. They covered the trap door up, right either that night or the
Who's
next
they?
day. I thought that's the cover-up people.
The Jews. It does the Juden. Yes, das
I
Juden.
don't know. Like,
This woman is so ruined. How Stewie says, ruined. She's been ruined. Clearly.
Okay, what's the reasoning?
the CIA.
So where is he now?
In hiding.
She thinks
Why?
it's Guantanamo Bay.
Why
I
would
don't
he
think
want to
he's in
hide?
Guantanamo
He was
Bay,
very successful.
But there are people because
Why
they were
would he
going to
wanna
kill
be
him.
hiding?
They
Well,
were
I
gonna
will
kill
say
him.
some of
And
his.
it's all part of
The Jews, they wanted to ruin him.
So it all plays into each other. Okay, so we are under a military operation right now.
There's an attack on the species by a guild of psychopaths, and they must be defeated.
Yeah.
Were you a part of this?
No.
Okay, I think he might have some insight if this was a thing.
So all of these things, like the Charlie Kirk stuff, like the celebrities, all of it
Dude,
goes.
she's batshit insane. You married her? And she's.
I didn't know this
wait,
till
so
last
you're
year.
not gonna
attractive,
think
but is
you're.
that worth it? Somewhat.
No, you're not going to think, sweetheart.
No, but when all of it goes down, you're like,
Cool
oh,
Whip.
that-
Pied
that's
his better with
crazy
Cool
lady,
Whip.
She was actually right.
All of it goes down. What's gonna go down?
It goes down or it doesn't go down. So, either way, it's a
we're
it's a
all
whole
gonna wake
fucking
up to
guessing
the
game.
freaking bullshit that's going on in the world. So like the
what's that?
celebrities and the sex trafficking rings.
Are going to do what?
They're gonna.
She sounds like D. Sweet D when she's quickly going through and talking her bullshit. When she's trying to describe something that she doesn't know anything about. She sounds like Sweet D from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Get hung in public.
This is total mental illness.
What?
Yes.
Yes. Military tribunals are coming.
They're not.
Okay.
They're not.
So I will say this on the military tribunals thing, like they hold people accountable in a military tribunal because, like, either one, you're too rich, your name's too big, or whatever the case may be. Because when military tribunal, you are, like, how do I say this? Like, there's a lot of normal citizen laws that they don't, I would say, quote unquote, don't have to follow, but they are outside those laws because of the power.
Just note that Caleb Hammer doesn't even make this face when retarded leftists go on. That's right. Candace Owens fans are worse than retarded leftists.
That they hold, so to speak. So in order to catch some of these people, right, you have to hold a military tribunal to hold them at a higher accountable standard, something along those lines. It's still kind of like...
what's coming under this military operation?
Yeah, so he's gonna expose everybody.
So, wait, honestly, why even care about your personal finances if, like, this big thing is gonna come? Why does it even matter? It'll solve everything. Why does it even matter?
Biden was never really president either.
He's dead.
Supposedly.
Oh, I don't think so.
He was never actually sworn in either.
Did you see his earlobes?
Weren't they, like,
what the fuck?
No. So he's okay. So they had like he was. So he wasn't actually president. He's actually dead.
Who was?
Trump was commander-in-chief of the military. So they pushed him in as a puppet.
So I will say this: when they did his inauguration, right? They played the funeral taps over like an actual presidential introduction type deal.
So Trump did the Afghanistan withdrawal. That was a disaster.
Well, Trump was the
president when we had 10% inflation.
Yeah, so it was all planned out.
I think
to wake everybody up.
Some war is bullshit anyway.
Well, it's to wake everybody up to like COVID, for example.
Which was also bullshit.
Yeah, it was bullshit, and it woke
Trump
a lot of people
passed
up.
the Inflation Reduction Act, the infrastructure bill,
behind the scenes to wake everybody up to make it look like it was Biden.
Okay.
Look into it. It's true.
Look into it.
No, it is. Like if you look at executive orders,
guys.
You do.
Can I just ask you a question?
How about you look into it?
It's flat.
Oh. Oh, that's usually my litmus test. I was like, is the world flat or around? Oh, it's flat. Oh, okay. You're a fucking lunatic conspiracy theorist.
And I can kind of prove that.
Guys, just real
No,
quick,
you can't.
don't forget
You can't. I promise you can't. But anyway, I need to go through and watch that one as well. It's so painful. Is the world flat around? It's flat. Okay. But anyway, guys. But yeah, Candace Owens, her fans, her ilk. This is fun. Amanda, 27, lesbian, trans woman, lives in Portland. Shocker. I'm sort of here to see if I can magically find someone. Not into smokers, vapors, single moms, not poly, won't date other trans or guys or women pretending to be men. A trans person saying this. Cat lover or owner is a plus. Allergic to dogs. Natural born women only, please. Okay, so you're a dude that just wants to play with multiple titties, including your own. But yeah, no, people are going absolutely insane right now. This one was fun. Nux, I think, had mentioned this. O'Neill said, hold on. There's a whole thing here. These guys sound way different when you wake them up at 2 a.m. Shh. About Sneekos doing Inshallah across the world and all that. Palestine News Network says, you're a fucking pussy. To which he says, I smoked your goat while you were fucking your goat. And then under you're a fucking pussy, it says, O'Neill served with SEAL Teams 2, 4, 6, and was part of the mission that took out Osama bin Laden. He's received 2 Silver Stars, 4 Bronze Star medals, and a Joint Service Commendation Medal, and more. He is, in fact, not a pussy. Based. But, and here's Stephen King looking like a tattered old lesbian, or like Elizabeth Warren had a stroke. Bernie Sanders, because he was alive back in 1900. Candace Owens just being nuts, all this stuff. Another shot of this woman ruining people's lives because she's sad, so she wants everyone else to be as miserable as she is. You know, American white girl stuff. This is an interesting one. A toddler was pronounced dead after being pulled unresponsive from a pool at an Arizona residence, was found to be breathing hours later in a hospital morgue, according to a recently released police report. It's ABC News, and it's not political, so, you know, could be true. Domino's has been very based lately. Someone want to come order digital pizza. They're just beating the dead horse that is PlayStation, and I'm loving every second of it. But yeah, we literally have pretty much his whole, like this right here. I will say this is probably the best way to jump off of a building. That extra few feet probably saved him from breaking anything. But yeah, we all saw this the day that it actually happened. Hello, police. I'd like to report some white men minding their own business. You know, black Karens. And she's very light-skinned, so she doesn't even really count, according to most. Breaking. ICE just shot and killed an illegal immigrant after a car ramming in Houston. The same note as with Renee Good. So I just shot you in your car. You aren't allowed to hit me with it because, duh. A stabbing occurred in New York City. AP, Zero Stories, PBS, New York Times, NPR, and Wall Street Journal, 0 stories. But they'll still say that crime in New York City is much lower under Zohran Mamdani. Here's the video.
Again, he seems to be having issues walking.
Because he has a freaking rifle down his pant leg. And he's a 19-year-old trying to be inconspicuous. But anyway, guys. That's going to be, sorry, this one too. Peace? Sure. She's not interested with Anna Kasparian with her new nose. Just, yes, this is AI frozen. Clearly not him, again. It is him. But it doesn't look like him because it's a AI-enhanced, quote-unquote, image. Oh, yeah, this is where I found that DFF video. Gays Against Groomers posting a lot of pretty based shit. A lot more of this. People like Lauren Chin posting. I've commented on a lot of these. Her posting this as some kind of own, because I guess Ben's 5'9" and she's also 5'9" or 5'8" or some shit. Charlie being like, I think it was like 6'5". So Charlie's huge. Ben is about average height. My God, the nipple placement. Why do people do this to themselves? Now they just look like god-awful skin tags and you have no nipples. Oh, yeah, and Candace Owens posting this, trying to make it look like he was under 6 foot tall, when in fact his head is oddly shaped, and he's sitting right at, if not a little above, 6 foot tall. Make this bitch famous, ripping license plates off of Teslas in Lower East Side of Manhattan. This guy pretending to be Miss Rachel, trying to convince people that, you know, you can be a trans lesbian. Some people were just like, oh, look, she's dressing up like Miss Rachel. I was like, oh, so just like regular Miss Rachel, but with a penis. Anyway, so that's it for today, guys. I'm going to run. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I know this has been a long-ass video talking about, and it's all been around Ben Shapiro's commentary about one of his former employees, the deranged lunatic known as Candace Owens. But I thought it needed to be said, mostly because she's deranged. She's made her whole career getting stupid people to believe her bullshit. Don't buy into it. Be smarter than that. I know you guys watch this, so you're better than that off top. I have the best audience in the world. We're small, but we're fierce so far. But who knows? Maybe the channel will grow. But in the meantime, I'm having a great time. But until next time, tomorrow, I've been Alpha Animus. You guys have been awesome. This has been the Associated Guest. We are signing out. Y'all have a fantastic day.